Hi everyone, in this video I'm just going to give a brief introduction into low pressure fitness, what it is, what the origins of it are and who can benefit from it. So it's a respiratory, postural and myofascial training method, which in contrast to traditional abdominal exercises which cause an increase in your intra-abdominal pressure. And that increase in pressure goes down to your pelvic floor and can weaken even more your pelvic floor muscles. This method, as its name indicates, is low pressure, so it doesn't cause that big increase in intra-abdominal pressure. So it was developed by two graduates in sports science who took the original hypopressive abdominal exercises developed by the physio Marcel Caufrier and developed it into a method a bit like yoga or Pilates, which has different postures, different levels, so that you can have a progression in it. And thanks to them, the hypopressive method moved from solely being in the physio realm or women's health physio realm to being a bit more in the rest of the fitness industry, like you go to a class of Pilates or you go to a class of yoga. So who can benefit from this method? Well, people who have malfunctions of their pelvic floor, like incontinence, whether that be stress incontinence or general incontinence, prolapse, people who carry out high impact sports like running, skipping, CrossFit, gymnastics, and obviously women in their postpartum period can really benefit from this, as there's usually a deterioration of our pelvic floor muscles from pregnancy and from birth, from labour. So those are the main groups who can benefit, but really anybody can benefit from it. But obviously you're strengthening your pelvic floor and your deep abdominal muscles, and that brings other benefits with it, such as reduction in lower back pain, improved posture, etc. Okay, so now we're just going to do a brief introduction to how you do a low pressure fitness hypopressive exercise. Okay, so the first thing you need to learn when you're learning low pressure fitness is the breathing that we do for all of the exercises, because it's a little bit different to any other sort of breathing you might have done. Okay, so you breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. But when you breathe out through your mouth, you've got to keep your mouth really wide open, as if you're drawing a circle or an O with your mouth, with your lips, and as if you're trying to steam up a mirror. As if you're cleaning your glasses and you're trying to steam them up before you clean them. Okay, so we put our hands on our ribs, bring our middle fingers together, and we take a nice deep breath. Okay, so you should feel the air come into your rib cage, your tummy inflate, and you'll notice that your fingers separate slightly. And when you breathe out with this wide open mouth, as if you're steaming up your glasses. Okay, so when we breathe out, we'll notice that our rib cage, our ribs come back down and come back in together, and our tips of our fingers touch again. Okay, so you notice that my tummy inflates, and when I breathe out, it goes in. Okay, and the reason we do this forced exhalation is because when we breathe in this way, our abdominal muscles contract. Our abdominal muscles are activated on this type of exhale. Okay, so what we need to try to avoid is bringing our shoulders into it. Okay, so we're not lifting up our shoulders, we're trying to keep our shoulders down and back and bring that air into our rib cage. so this is the basic breathing. Okay, so I'm just going to show, without showing any of the particular postures or the different positioning that we have to adopt, I'm just going to show how the apnea works. Okay, so when you're learning, the best thing to do is to take a breath in, breathe out. We're going to do this 2 more times. And at the end of the last one, we're going to breathe, let all the air out. When we've let all the air out, we're going to take our thumb and our finger and we're going to squeeze our nose. And then we're going to close our mouth and we're going to try and take a breath in. But we can't, obviously, because we've got our mouth closed and our nose stuck. So it's a bit like you're under the water and you're nearly out of oxygen and you need to breathe. And it's this movement where we get this opening up of our rib cage, like we got when we breathe it in, but without breathing in. Okay? Okay? So we'll try it again. Okay, so another step that I should mention, after we've breathed all the air out, we need to just take a second to relax all our abdominal muscles and our pelvic floor muscles. Okay, because as I said, when we exhale in this forced way, our muscles activate. So our these front muscles, your abdominus rectus, they activate, and that muscle pulls down when what we want to do is pull up. Okay, so we need to take that second to just relax before you try to open up your rib cage in apnea. Okay, we'll do one more. Relax. Okay, so normally at the start we hold the apnea, we hold our breath, we hold this opening of our rib cage for about 5 or 6 seconds, and as you progress in the practice, you'll be able to hold it for much longer. Okay, so I'm just going to show one exercise. This exercise is called Hestia. Okay, and we're going to do it sitting. We've got our legs crossed and we've got our ankles flexed. So our toes are pointing in towards our shins. Okay, and we need to make sure we've got our back in neutral. If anyone finds it difficult to sit with their back in neutral in this position, what you can do is take a little yoga block or take a cushion or roll up your mat a little bit and sit on top of it so that you can keep your back in this neutral position with its natural curves. Okay, then we're going to bend our arms and we're going to place the palms, just the top of our palm, the heel of our hand, on our thighs, and our fingers are going to be pointing up. And our elbows are bent and they're pulling out. And we've got our chest pushed up to the front, and we're going to imagine that somebody's got a string attached to the crown of our head and they're pulling it up towards the ceiling. So our eyes should be looking straight ahead, our elbows are pulling out, our chest is pushing up, our hands are pushing down. Again, we've still got our ankles flexed. So when we're in this position, this is a position in which we do all the hypopressive exercises, whether we're standing, kneeling, lying down. All of these positions of the body is going to be the same in every single exercise. Okay, so we've got our elbows pulling out, our chest up, hands pushing down. Okay, so we're going to do the same as we did. We're going to do 3 breaths, and then we're going to try and do the apnea. Okay, so we take a nice deep breath in and out. Again. So during the apnea, we need to push down on our hands. Okay, so if we need to take our hand away to tap our nose, we'll do that until it becomes automated, until we don't need to pinch our nose anymore. Okay, so we're going to do another couple of these. So this time I'm just going to do them and you can follow along. Okay, so another thing I forgot to mention is that when you do the apnea, well, your glottis closes as well. So you'll notice a sucking in here. So if you look at yourself in the mirror, you should see that this area here sucks in a little bit during the apnea. Okay, so that's one exercise and a very brief description of how you do them. I hope it's useful.